Hello, my name is Richard Taylor. Several years ago, a neurologist said to me and my wife and my brother, "Richard, you have dementia, probably the Alzheimer's type." We all cried for 3 or 4 weeks straight until we were emotionally exhausted. And then each one of us crawled into a little closet and hid from each other and from the rest of the world the fact that the symptoms that my family had seen in me meant that I had dementia. With the benefit of hindsight, this was the wrong thing for me to do. We unnecessarily went through a lot of emotional trauma. I became depressed, I had anxiety, my wife was depressed, my brother had anxiety. So I've been thinking about what would be a better way to deal with the diagnosis of dementia, probably of whatever type, than the way that I dealt with it. And as I've traveled around speaking to other people who have dementia, I've stumbled across a common theme with them. Their anxiety and their depression and their sense of purpose and their sense of being abnormal was reduced when they met other people with dementia, when they were in the same room with kindred spirits. Now, I didn't know what the word kindred meant, so I looked it up at the dictionary, in a dictionary, and you can see at the bottom here exactly what kindred spirits means. Now, you can read all the websites you want to about Alzheimer's or Lewy body dementia or whatever form of dementia your physician has told you. And you can go to all the self-help groups, and you can talk to all the professionals. But what you won't have is a sense of normality for yourself. As a matter of fact, it just made me feel more abnormal when I found all the information about how I was different from other people and how my life would be different. So I stumbled across the idea that perhaps what we need to do, people with dementia and their caregivers, is seek out and create social relationships with people who have dementia and their caregivers. We need to meet each other in our living rooms. We need to have dinner with people who have dementia. And we especially need this as early to the diagnoses as we can. And so I'm asking you to join me in creating a loosely formed national network of dementia support networks. I don't think it does as much good to know someone on the internet who lives in New York and we live in Los Angeles. What's really useful to us is to know someone who lives in our neighborhood, someone who has our profession, someone who has children much the same age as we do, someone who's willing to open their home and invite me and my spouse, actually it's my spouse and I, to come over and have dinner with them so we can begin to renormalize our lives, so we can realize that we're still okay, so that we can really come to believe that we're still whole people. It's something that we know, but it's something that other people don't recognize. You know, dementia is called the long goodbye. And for a while, I thought I was saying goodbye. I thought I was dying. But it turns out I'm not dying any faster than anybody else is. Everybody who sees this is one day closer to their death tomorrow than they are today. But I found that my fear of the future was diminishing my appreciation of today. I also found that hanging around people with dementia reduce some of that fear, being friends with those folks. So that's why I've decided to instigate this loosely affiliated collection of people who have dementia, who are creating what I call social networks with other people who have dementia. Now, what is it? Well, there's all kinds of networks. It's trendy to be in a network these days. There's business networks, there's religious networks, people of the same beliefs. I want us to have a dementia network, a network where we support each other, and we support each other in ways that are unique to people who are living with a diagnosis of dementia. So my vision is to create 100 or 200 or 1,000 social networks, starting with 4 people, 2 couples, or even 2 people, 2 individuals who have dementia, and meet each other in a very informal setting and discuss their children, their grandchildren, their income taxes, and, by the way, what are your issues with dementia? And as we become comfortable with each other, I think we'll become more comfortable with ourselves. So what I'm going to do with this video is to suggest to you a plan of how you can begin your own dementia network and how you can promote more dementia networks to start themselves. In the next section that I'm going to offer you, I'll spell out step by step how I started my own dementia network and how it's worked for some other people that I've tried this idea out. Thanks.